The first day at a new school is always hard. But for Ayana, it was more than just nerves. It was the weight of being the only black girl in a mostly white suburban school. It's the burden of unfamiliar faces and unspoken judgments. And she could feel it the moment she walked through the gate ties, trailing her like she was something strange, something that didn't belong. Ayana had moved to Fairview from Atlanta after her mom got a new job in the city. It was supposed to be a fresh start, a quieter neighborhood, a better school. But no one told her that standing out could make her a target. She didn't speak much that morning, just kept her head high and her steps steady, repeating her mother's words in her head: you don't need to fit in. You need to stand strong. She was used to being quiet, observant. She wasn't there to impress anyone. Her hair was braided neat, her uniform ironed, her books stacked with care. All that. Composure didn't matter in the face of teenage cruelty. It started with whispers behind her back, and the laughter. Then the names. Hey jungle girl. A voice sneered behind her locker. Ayana turned slowly to face a tall girl with bleached hair and a sharp tongue. Her name was Kelsey. Everyone seemed to know her, and most followed her lead, even if it was straight into trouble. Behind Kelsey stood two others, Max, a boy with more muscles than brains, and Tara, who smirked like she was born to cause trouble. Ayana didn't flinch. She didn't respond. She'd been taught that some battles didn't need words, but that only made it worse. What, you too good to talk to us? Kelsey asked, stepping closer. Think you're better than us, huh? Max laughed. Maybe she doesn't speak English. Do we try animal sounds? A few students nearby chuckled nervously. No one stepped in. Ayana looked at them, calm. Expression unreadable. I'm just trying to get to class. She turned and walked away. But bullies don't like being ignored. Over the next few days, they escalated. Books were knocked out of her hands. Her gym shoes went missing. Rude notes were slipped into her locker. In every classroom, Ayana sat alone. Even some teachers didn't seem to know how to connect with her. She was isolated but not broken. Because what no one knew was that Ayana wasn't just strong. She was trained. Since she was 7, she had studied karate. It wasn't just a hobby, it was a way of life. Her father, a retired Marine, and her first sensei, taught her that strength meant nothing without discipline. She had trained for years, through belt after belt, failing and getting back up, fighting boys twice her size, learning not just how to punch but when not to. By 15, she'd earned her black belt. She had faced fear in the form of flying kicks and full contact sparring. A few bullies in a hallway didn't scare her. But still, she wanted peace. She didn't want to fight, so she kept her silence and carried her bruises with quiet pride. Until one day. Everything went too far. It was after school. Ayana had stayed late to help a teacher clean up. The courtyard was nearly empty when she walked toward the back gate to head home. That's when she saw them, Kelsey, Max, and Tara, waiting near the wall like shadows. Thought you could just ignore us forever. Kelsey hissed, stepping forward. We're going to make sure you remember your place. Max cracked his knuckles. Let's see how tough you really are. Tara pulled out her phone, already recording. Ayana's breath slowed. Her stance shifted. Barely noticeable. She placed her backpack gently on the ground. I'm asking you one last time, she said, her voice clear, firm. Don't do this. Kelsey laughed and lunged. What happened next would be remembered at Fairview High for years. Ayana sidestepped Kelsey with perfect timing and used her own momentum to send her stumbling to the ground. Max rushed in, throwing a punch. Ayana ducked, countered with a controlled palm strike to his chest, and twisted his arm behind his back with precise technique. Yelped in pain as his legs buckled. Tara screamed and dropped her phone. Kelsey got up, furious, and grabbed a nearby stick. She swung wildly, but Ayana blocked the strike effortlessly. Disarmed her in 2 moves, and pinned her down without a scratch. And then it was over. Ayana didn't hit them again. She didn't gloat. Just stood there, calm, steady, in control. Her body moved like it had been trained to move 1,000 times before. She wasn't just defending herself. She was teaching them a lesson about underestimation and about dignity. Tara's phone, still recording, captured the whole scene. The video spread across the school by morning. But instead of shame, Ayana earned something else: respect. Not just from the students who watched in awe, but from teachers who realized they'd overlooked her, and from other students who had quietly endured their own bullying and suddenly found hope. Kelsey and Tara were suspended. But Ayana didn't ask for punishment. She asked for awareness. When Principal Dorsey asked her what she wanted, she said, "I want the school to talk about what it means to feel safe, and what it means to be different." That week, a new anti-bullying program was launched. Ayana was asked to speak at an assembly. She stood on the stage, eyes scanning the crowd, and shared her story not about the fight, but about courage, silence, and inner strength. "I didn't fight because I wanted to," she said. "I fought because I had to." But real strength isn't about throwing punches. It's about knowing who you are, even when no one else sees it. Applause filled the hall. Ayana didn't become a hero overnight, but she became something better: an example. Other students started speaking up. Diversity clubs were formed. The school that once whispered behind her back now listened when she spoke. She still walked the halls alone sometimes, but now was because she chose to, and people made space for her, not out of fear, but out of respect. Because Ayana wasn't just the new girl anymore. She was the girl who stood her ground. And showed the world that quiet strength, built in silence and discipline, can echo louder than any insult ever thrown.